117 million. 117 million Morgan Rogers to Chelsea. And there would have been a time, not even time that long ago, probably the Caicedo time, the Enzo time, where signing anyone for over 100 million just kind of makes you feel a bit icky. But then ultimately, you kind of get to a point where you go, it's not my money. And it ain't my money. And ultimately, you got to stop looking at signings for how much money you spend on them as a fan and start looking at signings as how good do you think the player is? Is that simple? And ultimately, Morgan Rogers is a great player. And it's not just about signing the player, it's about stopping other teams signing a player. Because I really don't feel like Morgan Rogers will stay in Aston Villa this year. He was probably going to go to Arsenal or City. Someone was going to make a bid at some point, shock some people, bring him in. And ultimately, we've done the same thing. We've done it before them. We got him in. Maybe they didn't want to spend that. But it's an expensive world. We had to sign Caicedo for over 100. We signed Enzo for over 100. Those kind of midfielders go for a lot of money. Anderson went this summer over 100. Players go for a lot. And ultimately, if they're good players, who gives a fuck? Because ultimately, Real Madrid are interested in Enzo. Real Madrid are usually interested in good players. Caicedo hasn't been a flop. I think he's one of the best in his position in the world. I don't care with spending over 100 million if they're going to stay at your club for a while. And if they don't stay at your club for a while, you get good money still for them when you sell them on. The issue is when you're spending 40 million on youngsters that you then sell years later and you lose half the money on, or 70 million, it doesn't work out, you lose half the money on 80 million here and there. If you look at the top, spendings in the Premier League era, a lot of them are going to be Chelsea signings, a lot of them are going to be fraudsters. You're looking at Lukaku, you're looking at Kepa, you're looking at Marathi. There's a fair few, right? Higuain, was he a lot? Fuck, I don't even want to think about it. There's a lot of bad signings, okay? And I don't think Morgan Rogers is going to be one. He joins sort of that Enzo Caicedo category for me, where it's like you spent a lot because you knew it was the guy, you knew it was the right guy, and if you didn't, somebody else would ultimately. And it's kind of what I was saying in the last video with the owners, where it's like, don't tell me you're sorry, show me you're sorry. They got ambition, they're naive, they're American, so they're trying to like do certain things in terms of the model, in terms of the branding of the sport, which people don't like. And ultimately, they've had a shit few years, but it could be worse. And these are people who are willing to go out and spend and are willing to go and try and make a team and build a team they think is going to win. They've been trying to do it for the last 3 years. It's just they've been going about it the wrong way, but now bringing in Xabi Alonso, signing these players, which sure, being linked to people all the time who I'm not quite aware of. I'm like, okay, I'm not excited about this, but if it's someone that Xabi Alonso wants, then I'll get behind it. And the Morgan Rogers thing is just an undeniable player that most managers would want. And going into this new season, and I hear people talk about this for most new seasons, and I kind of poo-poo it. But the no Champions League thing is a real thing. I'm not saying we're going to win the league. We finished 10th, under Mourinho. We won it with Conte. I'm not saying we're going to win the league. I'm going to say that going into a season, Michael Carrick, I think Michael Carrick will be exposed this year. They've just done the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer thing over again. He took over at Manchester United that wasn't in much, was just looking for a new manager bounce, was completely done with Amarin. He had, in my opinion, a very easy job, which is just people please and see out the season. And just having a feel good vibe around the club at the moment. I'm quietly optimistic for good things. I'm quietly optimistic. And does this open the door though? That's one thing I'd be scared about. Is that a warning sign that they're willing to get rid of an Enzo? Not that they're going to play the same position necessarily. Does that mean they're going to get rid of a Palmer? I don't know. Signings sometimes, especially big ones, can come out of nowhere. I'd like to keep both. Some people got to get sold. At the moment, I'm kind of looking forward to Garnacho being on the top of that list. But yeah.